below! Enemy scrotum!
Nope. Nope, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I can't do... How did this happen?
Matt.
No, no, I'm done. You gotta draw a line in the sand, dude. That was a bit dramatic. How's it going, gang? I'm Matt Henderson, and today we are going to be talking about Transformers Dark of the Moon. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Revenge of the Fallen, and while that movie was awful, it does get a little bit of slack because it was made during a writer's strike. However, this movie was not made during a writer's strike, and... well, it's still bad.
Amazing.
By this point, most action, sci-fi, and superhero movies were going for more of a darker and grittier tone, and that's exactly what they tried to do in this movie. Actually, I don't know if anybody really wanted a darker Transformers movie. I think everybody just kind of wanted them to step away from the middle school sexual humor and racism. Now, is Dark of the Moon as bad as Revenge of the Fallen? Is it worse? Let's find out. We open up with another monologue from Optimus Prime.
We were once a peaceful race.
Were you?
Give me your faith.
We find out that a team of Autobots once fled Cybertron with some secret cargo, but the ship ends up crashing on the dark side of the moon. We see the US rushing to the moon, we see JFK, and why does he look like that? What's wrong with his face? America lands on the moon and Neil finds the lost Cybertronian ship. A shot of Rosie Huntington-Whiteley's butt reveals her character, Carly. Boy, we're starting early this time. We find out that Michaela and Sam are no longer together. See? I told you shouldn't have said I love you so soon. You should have waited till that 3-year mark. The real reason Megan Fox was written out of these movies is because she compared Michael Bay to Hitler. Sam now lives in a mansion and is dating a supermodel. So, you know, things aren't going so bad for him. He also met Obama. We get more scenes of Sam's parents, and Sam's dad is a total dick to him in this movie.
I have job interviews.
That sucks. Sucks that you don't have a job. Oh, your car has a job, huh? Why did we bother sending him to an Ivy College for? 3 months out of school and he can't find a job?
He's dating a supermodel and living in a mansion. Cut him some slack, man. We're back with the Autobots in Chernobyl, where they get attacked by shockwaves. Sam goes to a bunch of job interviews, which is great content for a Transformers movie. We're then introduced to John Malkovich. What the hell are you doing here, man?
Mister, I saved your life twice. Okay? I can't tell you how or when or why.
You mean to tell me they hit the public alien war twice? Didn't the Fallen project himself around the entire world? We're back with Nest, where we're introduced to some new characters, primarily Wheeljack. Oh my god, what is wrong with his face? We're back with Sam and he goes to visit Carly at work. We're introduced to her boss, Tony, or Kyle or something. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of started checking out at this point. I can't remember his name. Carly's boss is way too sexual towards her. Sam gets jealous and annoyed, which is reasonable. The dude's totally trying to sleep with his girlfriend. Prime and Ratchet go to outer space where they find Spock, I mean Sentinel Prime. We're introduced to Megatron, who spent his days growling at elephants now. We're also reintroduced to Starscream and Soundwave, and I'll never get over how dirty they did my boy Soundwave in these movies. Soundwave sends Laserbeak on a killing spree. Laserbeak kills the boss from Phantom of the Megaplex, which is actually the movie that I had planned to review before I decided to review these movies, so what are the odds? We're back at work with Sam, where we're introduced to Ken Jeong's character.
I'm Wang. Deep Wang. Deep Wang. You're not getting it. Deep throat.
I'm not gonna say it. Not yet. Ken Jeong gives us exposition, and then he's thrown out of a window. And it's presumed that he commits suicide, and everybody just kind of makes light of it, like immediately after it happens. Laserbeak attacks Sam at work. Sam goes to Nest. Sam becomes more unbearable than his own parents, and then Sam gets Bumblebee back. And in case you were worried about continuity, don't worry. Bumblebee still can't talk. Sam guilts Bumblebee for not being around, despite Sam trying to get rid of Bumblebee throughout the entire last movie. Optimus Prime uses the Matrix of Leadership to bring Sentinel Prime back to life, and Sentinel Prime attacks Optimus, which I'm sure is a great sign. We find out that Sentinel Prime wants to use the pillars that Ness found to start a space bridge. I don't understand this because Jetfire used a space bridge in the last movie, if I'm remembering correctly, and he didn't need any pillars. I don't get it. Oh right, this movie needs a MacGuffin. Sam then goes to, oh god, John Turturro. Sam tells Simmons about the moon landing, and we get more uncomfortable dialogue from Simmons. John Malkovich meets Bumblebee, and then we never see him again. We find out that the Decepticons hid something on the moon. We also find out that some humans are working with the Decepticons. Bumblebee destroys Carly's house, and Carly leaves Sam. The group then goes to interrogate some Russians, and Mr. Dickovich.
I have ears like a cat and eyes like a rodent.
Simmons attempts to interrogate and intimidate Mr. Dickovich, and it goes horribly wrong.
I'm so sorry. That is the old me.
Admittedly, that joke did get a little bit of a chuckle out of me. The movie still sucks, though. Mr. Dickovich gives the group information, and then suddenly Nest is working with Sam, even though they didn't want to like 20 minutes ago. The Decepticons attack the group on a bridge, and this looks awful. And suddenly, Sentinel reveals that he's working with Megatron and kills Ironhide. And this death doesn't feel earned at all. It just feels mean. There's nothing in this movie that foreshadows or alludes to this. It just kind of abruptly happens, and then you just have to sit and watch Ironhide's head melt off of his body. Now, one of the only semi-developed Transformers in these movies is dead. Also, where is Prime during all of this? The group runs away, and we get more wonderful scenes with Sam's parents.
You're a good-looking kid, but you're not gonna get a third one. I mean, unless you have like a big...
What the
Fuck this movie. Megatron and Starscream give us some exposition. Optimus Prime and Sentinel fight. Sentinel Prime opens up the space bridge, which allows more Decepticons onto Earth. Carly goes on a date with her boss, Dylan. That's his name. Honestly, I couldn't remember his name for the life of me up until this point into the review. We find out that Dylan's working with the Decepticons, and this dude totally would have sided with the Nazis. We find out that Carly's car is actually Soundwave. Dylan gives Sam a new watch. Nice. What is that, like a Rolex? Dylan tells Sam to figure out what the Autobots plan to do to take down the Decepticons and kidnaps Carly. We find out that the government is sending the Autobots away.
Autobots have no way of leaving this planet.
What? They just went to the moon like fucking 40 minutes ago. So yeah, the Autobots leave Earth and then they die. And this scene would almost be emotional if it was in a competent movie. Why would you send away your only chance of survival against the Decepticons? There's like 100 new Decepticons on Earth now, all of which that want to ravage and enslave you, and you're sending away the only opportunity you have for survival. But you know what? I bet the government has a plan of action. Nothing could go wrong. Oh, the Decepticons are hiding out in Trump Tower, and of course they're hiding out in Trump Tower. No politics. I promised myself I wouldn't do any politics in these videos. But of course the bad guys are hiding in Trump Tower. We get more exposition where we find out that the Decepticons are planning to enslave the humans and are also planning to crash Cybertron into Earth, which would then kill everybody on Earth. So I don't really know how this plan would work out.
The red one there controls the rest. He triggers that, it starts the whole thing.
Noted. Thanks for letting us know. Epps gets some old Nest members back together and they try to help Sam get Carly back. And then suddenly we find out that the Autobots are back and not dead somehow.
We will kill them all.
Classic Prime dialogue. Alright, it's that time again. We're nearing the end of the movie, and this is where shit usually starts to hit the fan, so again, I'm gonna start speeding through this movie. You know how it goes by now. Sentinel Prime abuses Megatron, Sam points a gun at Dylan, Sam and Carly escape, the group crashes, and Sam was outside of the ship. There's no way he would have survived this. At the very least, he would have been mangled. The Decepticons find out that the Autobots are alive. Wheeljack... Sorry, it's hard to not want to vomit when you look at him for too long. Wheeljack gives the group what he calls boomsticks. The group gets to the top of a building to shoot down Trump Tower and the Decepticons, but the building gets attacked and begins to fall over. The group decides to jump out of a window, and what's the plan here? What are you gonna do? The group somehow manages to get to the lower half of the building, but gets attacked again. Optimus flies in and kills Shockwave's worm thing. Optimus gets tangled up in a building and spends a large portion of the rest of this movie here. Sam and Carly get separated from the rest of the group, and Starscream finds them. And they just brutalize Starscream in this scene. And how does the CGI in this movie look so bad? And then Starscream just dies. And how are you just gonna kill Starscream like that, man? He accomplished next to nothing in these movies. He didn't even try to overthrow Megatron once. I will never forgive you. Not you, Michael Bay. Willie and Brains make it into a Decepticon ship. Oh yeah, Willie's in this movie. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier or not. It's okay though, they don't matter. Nothing does. And then the Decepticons publicly execute Wheeljack. And you know, when people said they wanted a darker tone, I don't think they meant public execution. Soundwave dies, Shockwave dies, Optimus runs through the streets and murders everybody.
You die!
More classic Prime, I love it. Optimus and Sentinel fight, Sam and Dylan fight. It's a good thing that Pillar is slap activated. Megatron gets called a little bitch. Prime loses an arm. Megatron saves Prime and helps fight Sentinel. Prime murders another innocent person, but this time it's while Sentinel begs for his life.
No, Optimus!
Jesus. Megatron offers a peace treaty, and then Prime throws an axe through his head and yanks it off. Prime gives another heroic monologue, because nothing says heroism more than murdering unarmed people. And then once again, the movie just ends. Well, there we go. 3 down, and holy shit, there's 3 more of these movies. Final thoughts. Yeah, this movie's bad. Is it as bad as Revenge of the Fallen, though? I don't think so, but if you threw in a couple of racist robots and some sexual assault, it would pretty much be a toss-up. On the other hand, though, this movie is really boring. It's not a lot happening, it's just random stuff loosely following a plot. There's so much exposition in this movie. Most of the plot is given to us through characters telling us what's happening. It's ridiculous. There's less racism, but near equal sexualization. Most of the characters are improved on, but only slightly. Also, Optimus Prime has snapped. I don't know what happened to this guy, but he's lost it. Overall, yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's a slight improvement from the previous movie, so I think it's safe to say that with 3 movies ahead of us, Revenge of the Fallen is going to be the worst out of the 6. Right? Well, there you go. That's Transformers Dark of the Moon. Did you guys see this movie? Did you like it? Do you think it was better or worse than Revenge of the Fallen? Let me know. I'm really torn on this movie again. If you liked this video and you want to see more videos like it, leave a like, subscribe if you wanna. I'm Matt Henderson. Thank you.